Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me for today's edition of Workout Wednesday, brought to you live from my living room. Flying solo today. Janae wasn't able to make it, but that's okay. Hopefully next week. So today's workout is going to be focused primarily on lower body. So we're going to work a lot on our quads, hamstrings, and then move down to the ground to do some glute work, lots of glute work. So we'll finish up on the mat. But before we get started with anything, let's just kind of get our heart rates going a little bit, brief cardio warm up, and then we'll move into some standing exercises. And then, like I said, we're going to transition down to the mat. I'll show you modifications for everything. So if somebody doesn't feel comfortable, doesn't feel right, please modify. Always take a break. You can pause, grab water, whatever you need. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So let's just do some basic kind of walking in place just to get your heart rate going a little bit. Start to breathe a little bit, cue into your breathing. All right. We're going to be doing this for 30 seconds. Really try to get those hands and knees going a little bit here. Just trying to get everything warmed up. All right, just 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. All right, now that we're a little bit loosened up, let's go ahead and head right into our single leg deadlift. So what that's going to look like is I'm going to shift my weight over onto my left leg, and then I'm going to put my hands on my hips, my core is engaged, I've got a nice flat back, and then I'm going to lean forward while keeping that back right leg straight, and then using my glutes and hamstrings to come back to center. So I'm trying to be in a nice straight line while I'm here. If you need some support, feel free to grab a chair or do this with the support of your couch if you need it. But try to find a focal point there. It's a bit of a balance challenge. We're going to do 10 on this leg, and then we're going to switch and do the same thing on the other leg. And really try to keep your hips square instead of tilted, just like mine were. So try to nice and square. Think about, again, keeping a nice straight line. And then also keep a small bend in this knee that's supporting you. And it's okay if you lose your balance a little bit. All right, just 3 more here. And you'll definitely start to feel it on that standing leg. 3, 2, and 1. All right, most definitely shake out that standing leg. We're going to switch and do 10 reps on the opposite leg. So whatever leg was just supporting you, switch now the opposite leg. So I've got a small bend now on my right knee, got my core engaged, I'm standing up nice and tall, hands on my hips just for stability, or again, you can grab onto that chair, edge of the couch, whatever you need, and then keeping this opposite leg straight, we're gonna kick straight back, and then slow and controlled. So for this one, it's definitely not how many reps you can get in, it's how controlled can you be. It's a very slow and deliberate movement. And you try to, unlike what I just did, you try to control as you come back up to standing. But like I said, it's a bit of a balance challenge, so you might find yourself a little wobbly. And if you can't come quite as far forward as I can, totally fine. I lost my focal point. Even if you're just coming like this and then coming back upright, that's fine. But just try to stay in a straight line from your forehead down to that leg that's extending back. So you're not just bending at the waist, so everything stays nice and straight. Good. All right, we got 4 more here. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. All right. Same thing, 10 more on each side. So let's go ahead and switch, but I'm going to add a little challenge at the end if you choose to take it. Okay, so you're standing up nice and straight, switching your weight over, and then when you're ready, go ahead and kick straight back. So at the end, I'm going to add an option for doing some small pulses once we're in this forward position. I'll show you what that looks like. And you may notice a difference side to side. for whatever reason, definitely much easier when standing on my left leg compared to my right. So there might be a little bit of a difference in strength there. Going just 3 more. While you guys finish up your last 3, I'm going to show you what the added challenge is going to look like. So while you're back here in this position, you've got your balance. If you can, you're going to do some small pulses up with that leg that's behind you. Just for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. All right, really feeling on that standing leg. If you don't want to take the modification or the added challenge at the end, that's totally fine. You can add in a few more reps of what we've already been doing, or you can even just practice being in a static hold and working on balance that way. That's totally fine. All right, we're switching last set of 10, and then again, that challenge is going to come at the end if you choose. All right, go ahead, straight back, and come forward. Barely protect your back here and make sure that core stays engaged the whole time. Good. You guys are doing great. 5 more. 3 more. All right, after this last one, feel free to take a challenge. So either you're here and you're just holding, or you're pulsing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. All right, we're all done with those. Shake out both of those legs. They're definitely nice and warmed up now. Excuse me. And now what we're going to do is a curtsy lunge, but then as we come up to standing, we're going to kick out to the side. So we're going to be working the side of our glutes also. So I'm going to have some space here. I want you to have a nice wide base of support. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back and behind me with that left leg. And then as I push up and come to center, I'm going to kick out. Okay? So down and back like this. I've got to bend in that front knee and kick out. So again, lots of control here. These aren't fast movements. Really trying to isolate these muscle groups. And come up and out. Good, so down and back, kick up and out. Down and back. And I only want you bending on that front knee as far as feels comfortable. I'm not going too far. This knee in particular gives me trouble, so I'm not bending down too far. But the important part is that you're crossing back behind you, then bending those knees, then straightening. Get your balance as you come back up, and then kick out. Down, back up, kick out. We've got 5 more here. Curtsy, come back up, kick out. Just 3 more, and then we're switching to the other side. Whew. You should start to feel it on the outside of your thigh. Good. 2 more. Now we've got our rhythm going. Last one. All right. Nice job, everybody. You guessed it, same thing on that other side. And then we only have 1 more set of movements after this, and then we'll be moving down to the floor. Okay, so what you're going to do, make sure you've got enough room behind you to do your curtsy lunge. So I'm going to step back with that opposite leg, push to center, and then kick out. Curtsy lunge behind me, up, kick out to the side. Notice how I'm trying to stay nice and tall. I'm not teetering or going over like this. Kick back, and out. So we're really working all the major muscle groups here. You've got your quads going, your glutes, sides of your glutes here, so different part. And then of course that core stays engaged the whole time. Gotta protect that low back. Good. Just 3 more here. I'm starting to feel it. Hopefully you guys are too. 2. I'm doing a bad job at counting today. Last one. and kick out. Whew. All right. So what we are going to do now is we are going to move into some wide squats. So what I want you to do, so my feet are a little wider than hip width apart. My toes are pointed outwards. I'm at 10 and 2. And then what you're going to do here with your shoulders staying stacked over your hips, you're going to sink your butt down. And you're kind of coming into this wide squat position. My knees aren't falling inward. They're staying nice and in line with my big toe. And then from here, I'm just going to do a small pulse a few inches down and then rise back up. We're just going to pulse here for a few. And again, if this is too much on your knees, don't squat down as far. If you need that upper body support, feel free to grab the back of the couch, or we'll have a chair next to you. You can use a mantle by your fireplace, whatever you need. Okay, 5 more here, and then we're going to pulse down for 10, but with the heel being lifted. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I went ahead and lifted my right heel. Same thing, I'm going to pulse down. Winston had to make his appearance. No workout is complete without him wandering across. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and put that heel down. And then lift your opposite heel, same thing. Pulse down for 10, 9, 8, you got it. Whew. Feel a little bit on the inner thighs too. Nice job, just 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, last one. What we're going to do, go ahead and sink down, lift both heels up, and then pulse down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you can, hold it here for just a few seconds. Really embrace the shake. And release. Nice job, everybody. All right, so we are done with our standing poses. So now we're going to move down to the mat. I'm just going to adjust my camera so you guys can see me okay. That ought to work right there. Beautiful. Okay, perfect. So go ahead and make your way onto your backs. All right. Should be okay. So what we're going to do first, just regular old bridges. So what I want you to do, come this way so you guys can see me a bit better. All right. So I want your shoulders to be nice and relaxed down. Your core's engaged. You've got that nice flat back. And then from here, you're going to lift your hips up toward the ceiling and then slowly control back down. We're just going to do 10 of these. Breathing, trying to make sure everything up top stays relaxed. I'm not going up as far as it's comfortable for you. Nice job. 4 more. 2, and 1. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring our hips up into that raised position, making sure they stay nice and stable. I don't want to see them falling side to side. And then you're going to do alternating lifts or extensions of your leg. So now I'm supporting myself on one leg while I extend the opposite leg long, really focusing on keeping your hips stable. So if your hips start to drop and you're down here, then I would just go back to regular bridges. The most important thing is that you're able to maintain stability at your hips. All right, just a few more here. I'll give you a bit of a breather. 3, 2, and 1. And slow back down. All right. What we're going to do now, we're going to play around with another bridge variation. So I'm going to have you, again, make sure those feet are about hip width apart. What I want you to do is go ahead and raise your hips up, keeping that core engaged, glutes engaged also. I'm going to go ahead and do alternating marches. So I'm keeping my knee bent at about 90 degrees while I march up towards my chest. Same thing, you have to cue in to make sure that your hips are stable, that they're not rocking all over the place. So we're feeling it in our hamstrings and in our glutes. So we're doing both. Making sure we're breathing, that's always important too. Keep up the good work, everybody. Just 5 more. And really, you don't need to raise or bend your leg in much higher than hip height. You don't have to try to bring it all the way in towards your chest. Good, just 3 more, 2, and 1. Woo, nice job. All right, now we're gonna make our way over onto our side. So I'm gonna roll over onto my right side, like so. And then I'm gonna extend that leg long, my arm long, and kind of let that act as my pillow. Trying to keep a nice flat back here, not looking down towards your toes. And then what I want you to do is extend that top leg, and then I pulled my toes up towards my face, so my foot is flexed. And then my hips are staying stacked. I'm not letting them roll back or forward. Hips are staying stacked. If you want, this arm can kind of act as a kickstand. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kick up slightly higher than hip height and then slowly back down. Small movement, but very effective when it's done correctly. You're going to do 15 here. And then we're going to switch and do inner thighs. Really try to control as you lower. Don't just let that leg flop down to the ground. And you should be feeling it here. Check in, making sure that core is staying engaged. And again, we don't want those hips to be rocking back and forth. I'm feeling it already. All right, just 5 more here. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Go ahead and rub out that top hip. Okay, so now my top leg is going to be bent and in front of me. And now I'm going to extend my bottom leg. And you can't see my toes, but they're pulled up towards my face. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to pull that leg upwards toward the ceiling and then slow release back down. So now we're working the inner thigh. Really keep that core engaged, especially. And I just caught myself trying not to let that hip rock back too far. Nice job. Good. Couple more here. We're still breathing. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come onto hands and knees before we switch and lay on the other side. So if you need more support, you can always add in a towel roll underneath your knees, or you can build up your wrists and pad up your wrists and add a small towel roll there. We won't be here for too long, just 2 different exercises while you're on your hands and knees. Okay, so what you're going to do, your hands are going to be stacked directly beneath your shoulders. My feet are a little wider than hip width apart. My core is engaged. I've got a nice flat back. If you're going to set a glass there, it wouldn't tip. And then what you're going to do is I'm lifting my right leg up towards the ceiling, and then my right heel, you can see my foot is flexed. I'm pushing my right heel up toward the ceiling and then slow back down. So just a few inches up and then slowly back down. And you should be feeling this right there in the center of that glute. Good, and we're all gonna wanna try to really let our low backs bow. Just be cautious of that and keep a nice flat back. Again, this is a very small, concentrated movement. You could always come down onto your forearms if that was too much stress through your wrist. So just know that this option is also there for you. And we come back onto my hands. Small bend in the elbows. Good, just 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. If you need to, kind of sink back into child's pose. All right, same thing on the other side, whenever you're ready. So now we're doing that same motion with that left leg. So nice flat back, shoulders are relaxed down away from your ears. You're kicking up, toes flexed, and then you're kicking up towards the ceiling. So trying to push my heel up closer towards the ceiling. Small movements. Nice work, everybody. We'll definitely take some time to do some stretches at the end. I gotta do something about this music. It's way too quiet. All right, just 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, just 1 more while we're here. So what I want you to do, I'm gonna turn so you guys can see me a bit better. So what I want you to do is extend that right leg long, and then you're gonna kick up, and then you're gonna cross over towards the other side. And then you kick up, and then you tap down. You're kicking up, crossing over and tapping down. Almost like you're trying to draw a triangle to the top of the triangle. So I kick up, cross over, kick up, cross back and over. Again, all with control, my legs stay straight, core engaged. Good. Just a few more here, and then we're gonna switch and do the same thing on the other side. 3 more. 2, and 1. Whew. And take a second here. Come back in child pose. Relax everything forward. Roll out those wrists if you need to. And now we are going to come back into sideline. Oh, we need to do the other leg. I'm so sorry. All right, let's get my stuff together here. Okay, so your core is engaged, nice flat back. Of course, we got to even everything out. Extend that leg long, the opposite leg, except for me, it's the left leg. And then you're going to tap it down, cross, come back up, and then tap down. Again, like you're drawing a triangle like this at the top of the triangle. Core stays engaged the whole time. And really watch this. We all kind of want to sink down like this. Watch those shoulders. Make sure your chest stays lifted. Four more. 3, 2, and 1. All right, now that we're balanced, we can move on to the other side. All right, so now I'm going to let my left arm go long out in front of me like this. Use that as my pillow, trying to keep a nice flat back. And then I've got my kickstand here. And then I'm going to go ahead and extend that top leg, making sure my hips are staying stacked, core's engaged. And then lift up just slightly above hip height and then slowly come back down. Nice job, everybody. Foot stays flexed. Breathing. Just a lot of lower body work. All right, just 4 more. 3, 2, 1. All right, you got it. We're doing the inner thighs now of the bottom leg. So we're going to switch legs, switch positions here. Okay, and now I'm going to raise that top leg up and then slowly relax back down. It's just a few inches up off the ground. You should feel it from the inner thigh. Oh yeah, I'll definitely be sore tomorrow. Okay, we've got 6 more. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. We did it. Not quite done. 1 more set on hands and knees, and then we will be all done, ready to stretch. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to do hamstring curls. So we've got a nice flat back, small bend in your elbows, and then you're going to bring your right leg up. And then keeping it up there, you're going to straighten your leg and then back in. So we're just bending at the knee joint here and then slowly straightening. So we're doing hamstring curls, but in a different position. And then check in with those shoulders, make sure they're nice and relaxed, you're not sinking into them. And everybody's kind of getting tired. 5 more. Kind of let that leg sink down. Mine just did. 3, 2, 1. All right, same thing on the other side. And again, remember, you can always come down onto your forearms if you need to, or pad your wrist up with the towel. Okay, go ahead and make sure you're in the correct position, and then extend that leg out there, hamstring curl up, and slow back down. Nice job, everybody. Oh, I gotta work on these hamstrings. They are weak. All right, 5 more. 3, 2, and 1. Through and 1 more for good measure. All right, feel free to sink back in child's pose for a moment if you need to. Beautiful. Okay, last one we're gonna do, last set of glute work. So nothing crazy. All we're gonna do is extend one leg long. So go ahead and do your right leg, lift up towards the ceiling, and then slowly back down. So we're just doing some extension. Making sure your hips don't roll open. Try to keep them nice and stacked, or nice and level, I should say. Five more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. All right, last set of 10. 12, I mean, last set of 12. All right, you guys got this. Last set, here we go. Extend that leg, lift up, and slowly lower down. Making sure your core is nice and engaged here. Don't make sure that back stays flat, even as you're extending up. 6 more. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just take a moment, sink back down to child's pose, walk those hands in front of you, and then just gently let your forehead relax down on the ground. And then you can take a minute, walk your your arms out to the side, take a moment to take a deep breath in. Exhale, same thing to the left now. Deep breath in. Exhale. Beautiful. All right. While we're still sitting, let's take a moment to stretch our hamstrings. So I'm going to bring my left leg in close to my body, letting that right leg go long. If you need to, you can create a small bend in that knee that's extended on the ground, but try to reach forward towards those toes or whatever feels comfortable, letting your head just gently drop down to feel a good stretch in the back of your thigh. All right, we're going to switch and do the same thing on the other side. Let that head relax. Oh yeah, definitely tighter on this side than the other side. Just a few more seconds here. Wow. All right, gotta work on that. We all need to stretch our hamstrings more. Okay, let's go ahead and make our round to our back to really stretch our glutes. So what I want you to do is go ahead and cross your right leg over your left, and then using both of your arms, grab underneath your left thigh and gently pull into center. You should be feeling a stretch on the outside of your glutes. If that's too uncomfortable, you can always let that left leg go long while you pull your right leg across your body. And if you want, you could always let that right arm stretch out to the side also. I prefer this one, so I'm going to go with this stretch. As you start to loosen up a bit, you can pull in just a bit closer toward your chest, and then even let it drift across your body even more. All right, we're going to switch and do the same thing, whichever variation you prefer. And switch and do the same thing over here. All right. Just a few more deep breaths here. All right.
Nice job, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. All right, stay safe, everyone.